From 2005 to 2000. Home camera video paused just before two loose dogs kill a woman in the middle of the street. Now people want to know why Animal Services didn't take these dogs, which every neighbor I've talked to says were loose all the time, away before this vicious attack Tuesday. I'm your Sharps community correspondent, James Sparvero.
I'm sorry. Welcome back. I had to stop there. I prefer to let it play, but I had to stop there because I myself will forget certain things to point out. You heard right here where they said that the dogs were loose all the time. That's dog culture. For all the people who might be related to the victim, sometimes they find our videos here on YouTube. That's dog culture. Because as one resident testified that the dogs were never aggressive before this incident, that they would come up to you, let you pet them, you would love on them, etc. That's the dog culture that I'm talking about. The management of the environment itself is what led to this lady's fatality.
Which every neighbor I've talked to says were loose all the time, away before this vicious attack Tuesday. I'm your Sharps community correspondent, James Sparvero.
Some of this blame doesn't just go to her.
Donnell Smith told me while Jody Cowan was the love of his life, he was friends with the dog owners, so he has mixed feelings about the degree of punishment he thinks his neighbor should face. What would you say to the dog owners right now? Do you think they should be charged?
Do I want her to rot in jail? No. Do I want accountability? Yeah.
No. No. Accountability should fall on the whole community that accepted those dogs. I don't care that they were reported twice or whatever. They were accepted. Y'all feed them, you're rubbing on them. You see them out, you're shooing them away. No, if the community take a stand, those dogs will be picked up. Dog warden don't act, call the police. If neither acts, we all know the law. There's a lethal threat in the community. The law permits you to neutralize deadly threats. So at the very least, the people in the community could have made sure that they were always armed when they went outside. You know, it's two pit bulls that are always running loose. This lady was said to be retrieving her own personal dog. In the video, you're going to see her with a small dog in her hand. That's one of the moments that I'm talking about. Was she so much of a dog lover that she refused to carry adequate, effective protection? Assuming that, hey, they're just dogs, they're not going to do anything to me? No.
There's some other individuals that need to be looked at, some other entities that need to be looked at.
Animal services.
He knew the dog owners, remember that. So it sounds like even he was accepting of seeing the dogs out. You know, you see them out. There's, you know, my neighbor's dogs again. I really wish he would do something about those things. And people brush it off, walk it off. Hey, it's just a dog. We all love dogs. Hey, go and get out of here. They had never shown aggression up to that point, right? Right? This had to have been what was going on by the members of the community. Be honest. Nobody thought that they would actually turn aggressive because they've never shown aggression.
Left a note on the owner's gate. It reads, the dogs are now with them and the owner should call animal services immediately. I also checked records at this same Blue Bonnet Drive address, and I found that animal services gave 2 tickets previously for animals at large.
2 tickets. Even though they were said to be loose all the time. They should have had 20 tickets. 40, 80 tickets. You keep calling whoever you got to call until those dogs are gone. Every time you see them, you make a call. It should be a community effort. This is why everybody should be anti-dog. This could have been neutral. It would have been neutralized. Nipped in the bud. Nobody would have got hurt. Let's go.
That was last year and the year before. Now I'm waiting for the sheriff's office to tell me how many times they've been called here in total about the dogs.
They didn't do anything. They failed us.
And you're certain it's the same dogs?
That's the same lady who said they would come up and love up on you. You see how she's talking about, oh, they failed us. They were called, but they failed us. And you're the same person talking about how they would come up and love up on you and let you rubbed on them. This is what I'm saying. Be honest. Stop with this nonsense. Oh, they failed us. The whole community failed.
Positive. Mako and Max.
Can't just let dogs or cats even run loose.
There you go. What do you mean? Yes, you can let cats run loose. Cats run loose. They don't need your permission. I see cats all the time. They ain't bothering no, they ain't doing this. Stop that. He's just saying that to provide more cover for the dog. You know, include some other domestic animals that could what? Carry something out like this? Stop it. So I'm saying, be realistic, man. Stop with this low IQ babble. Stop it. That's another part of dog culture that irks me, man.
Some repercussions.
Cut it out.
And the sheriff's office hasn't called me back yet about what those repercussions might be. They also have not addressed the neighbors' complaints about animal services. As soon as we hear anything from investigators, we'll add all updates to clickorlando.com.
Now, as a truly failed dog-loving community, 2 pit bulls that are always running loose, are you crazy? You dare walk outside with no protection? That means everybody was on the same page. They're just dogs. Don't judge them by the breed. They're just dogs. That shelter nuttery, that dodo nuttery that has them hypnotized was at play in this entire community, and we all know it. There's probably watching and listening to dodo videos as they saw them roaming the neighborhood.
Developing in Brevard County, investigators there say they are looking into a deadly pit bull attack that claimed the life of a local woman. It happened Tuesday morning on Bluebonnet Drive in Cocoa. Channel 9's Melanie Holtz is live in the neighborhood. And Mel, you spotted deputies in the neighborhood today.
Yeah, they were out here canvassing, talking to residents, presumably about those pit bulls that are now in the custody of Animal Services here in Brevard County. Now, on Tuesday, it's believed that those same dogs mauled a woman right here on Bluebonnet Drive in Cocoa as she was trying to find one of her own dogs. Her name.
There you go. And you also see the thumbnail. You see her with what? A pit bull. So she strikes me as the type of dog lover who doesn't look at pit bulls as a deadly threat. Is that fair to say? She was out there by herself. And if she's looking for her dog, if those dogs are eating your dog, you know about misdirected aggression. There's more of a chance that they'll attack you. So you're at greater risk if you're going out looking for your dog. You're at greater risk to being attacked. No, they're pit bulls. I'm not going to judge them by the breed. We all love dogs. They're just the old pesky neighbor's dogs out and about once again. No, that's dog culture right there. That's all flipping dog culture. Any reaction that doesn't demand that those things be removed from the community is dog culture. Hold on. Let's stop. Let's take a pause here. Because we know the story. I know a lot of these dog lovers, they look at us and they listen to me and they think we're just a big joke. Be honest. Y'all look at us as a joke, don't you? Reddit, dog free, we're just a big joke. Look at this. I did a search, dog culture destroys humans. The concept that dog culture is destructive to humans is a what? A growing sentiment among critics who argue that the modern elevation of dogs to near human status has negative social, psychological, and physical consequences. No, dog lovers, we're a real entity that makes sense. And you're going to have to survive with us around as a growing population that won't shrink. Y'all are in all kinds of trouble. All kinds of, you understand? Our membership does not decrease. Key arguments against modern dog culture. Prioritization over humans. Boom. That's us. Dog rights over humans. Cultural shifts where animal adoptions significantly outnumber human adoptions. These are our topics. These are things we talk about. Around 22-1 in the U.S. suggesting a societal preference for dogs over children due to perceived convenience or lower financial burden, which it is not. You see, our harshest critics are mainstream, whether you want to accept it or not. I also going to remind you that there have been major media outlets that have done articles on us. One even shared a link to my YouTube channel. What was that media? Not Mother Jones. It was the other one, Slate magazine. Yeah, we're not some type of ignorant crowd of lunatics, as y'all have tried to paint us. Not at all. Look at this. Anthropomorphism and loss of boundaries. Treating dogs as fur babies. There you go. Or humans can lead to a lack of discipline. When owners act as servants rather than leaders, it can result in increased aggression. For instance, there was an increase. They talk about the increase in the United States, and that's before the lockdown. Look at that. 165% increase since 2019. So you know that the real statistics are off the page. Invasion of public spaces. That's coming from our neck of the woods. Financial and mental strain. Social isolation. Disliking or even just being critical of dog culture can lead to social exclusion or ridicule. That ain't gonna happen with us. Let me just remind you. Let's finish this other video here.
Was Jody Cowan, and her partner and her have lived in this neighborhood not very long, just a couple of months. But they were familiar with those dogs, and until recently, I'm told they were not aggressive. But neighbors in this area say that they have called animal services on those dogs recently, something that we're looking into, and the sheriff's office is too at this point. As of last night, though, we've been told that the dog's owner has not been located, and we noticed that deputies left.
He took off. He left town. This joker has not even come back home. Y'all saw that letter was still on his fence telling him that his dogs have been confiscated and that he needs to call them. And that was the dog shelter. He left town. What happened, man? He can't stand by that.
The notice on the gate of that individual earlier today. Now, Donnell Smith, who was very close for so many years to Ms. Cowan, spoke to us today about his personal loss and his belief that this did not have to happen.
It was pitch black that night. You couldn't see nothing. I could barely see her when I got to her. Yeah, but when she came around the corner and the dogs kept running past the end of the fence, she realized that they weren't in the fence. They were outside the fence then. And they, she tried to shoo them away, and they jumped on her and took her down right away.
And Smith told me earlier today that he's still in disbelief. He thought that he and Cowan would grow old together. Now he's not quite sure what to do, but he certainly wants justice for her. Now we are currently in contact with the sheriff's office about what they're doing to locate the dog's owner and what's next in this investigation.
Okay. This all came from not dealing with these things as lethal threats. And we all know it. Let's keep this simple. Dog culture, that's what it's all about. When you see a dog, especially when you see a pit bull, you are not supposed to see something that will unalive you. You're supposed to see your best friend and something that's misunderstood and that should be treated like it's harmless until it becomes aggressive. But that's a dumb thing to do, because it could be the last time you ever do anything. You're gonna wait until it turns aggressive before you treat it like a lethal threat. And that's what the law says. That's what these shelters operate on. Many of them will ask you, has it attacked anybody yet? And if you say no, many times they will not come out there to pick it up. And even if you say yeah, they might not come out there. They might tell you to call the police. Dog culture. You got to stand against it. Now, this story has gone viral. I don't know how many of y'all have checked it out. You know, like if you do a search, the videos that, media outlets that have done videos on it have hundreds of thousands of views, tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands. And these popular talking heads on YouTube have not talked about it at all. What's the problem? What's the problem? You know that this is a viral story. You know that dog lovers are looking to the experts because they're like, hey, what happened? These dogs that have never shown aggression, dogs that knew everybody in the neighborhood, one day attacked someone that they have been seeing for, who knows how long. But no, nothing from him, nothing from this guy, nothing. They're just like, hey, figure it out on your own. Dog culture, man, it just destroys people. It destroys people. So I did this search. And I was like, wow. And I kept searching. Because, I talk about neglect a lot. And I did this search. The harm in loving your dog more than your children. Look at this. Destroys self-esteem. Children internalize this dynamic as evidence that they are fundamentally unlovable or worthless. This is for all you dog owners whose dog has not turned aggressive, and you simply live inside of your home with your so-called happy family and your worthless mutt. And I know what you're doing inside of those homes. I know what you're doing. You're placing the dog over your offspring. Dogs destroy humans. They destroy people, destroy families. Look at this. Creates deep resentment. Toxic jealousy develops towards the dog and the parent, fracturing family bonds, just like I've been talking about. Just like I've been talking about. I started talking about this, I think around 2017, 2018. Triggers attachment issues. Children may struggle to trust others or form healthy adult relationships. Chronic anxiety. Living in an environment where a dog receives superior emotional safety creates constant stress. I never thought about that. Look at this. Acting out. Children may exhibit aggressive behavior to force parental attention. Y'all have seen that. I've seen that. Social withdrawal. Emotional neglect at home often leads to isolation from peers at school. It destroys your kids. Having these dumb inbred mutants in the house, worshiping them. Risk of dog abuse, okay? Look at this. Displaced anger can lead to the child harming the, yeah, right. Yeah, right. That don't happen. Where that happen? The media will be happy to report on that. There ain't never been a youngster who put a dog in a hospital. Let's move on. Children might stop expecting care and instead try to parent themselves or their siblings. This is crazy. The source of the imbalance. Dogs offer unconditional compliance. Dogs don't argue, demand complex boundaries. Yes, they do. Or trigger parental insecurities. Children require emotional labor. Raising humans involves navigating conflict, defiance, and intense psychological navigating conflict. Yeah, you're supposed to take joy in doing that. Resolving conflict is part of being a parent. Right? That's really what we do here. We're not that complicated. You can't resolve conflict between two kids? Sound like, people might need a lot of therapy. Like I said, in dog culture, there's a lot of therapy needed in dog culture. A lot. What is this? Escapism. Preferring the dog is often a coping mechanism to avoid the difficult, exhausting realities of parenting. And let me add, of simply interacting with human beings. Something we talk about all the time. We're here, dog lovers. Our narrative is not some outer space wacky thing. The world is catching on to you. You need to get on the right side of things. Don't be a degenerate. Don't be a real life degenerate and a recessive mutant. You become what you worship. Instead, look at this. The benefits of positive attention. Quite naturally. Oh, look. Positive attention. The more you neglect and give the dog positive attention, that's less positive attention for your offspring. It boosts self-esteem, strengthens relationships, improves mental well-being, help you academically, builds self-esteem, improves behavior, strengthens relationships, mindfulness, wellness. Look at this, man. There's a lot of benefits. Benefits of spending more time with your kids, build strong emotional bond, lower stress, right? Y'all always talking about bringing these worthless mutts into schools. That's causing the stress. Get the dog out of there and show the students attention. That will lower stress. That's exactly what I was saying as I covered the stupid videos. Yeah, deeper emotional connection, trust. When you engage in positive activities together, you create a safe space for your youngsters. Trust. Kids who feel validated, more likely to come to you with problems rather than acting out. Yes, because you make a habit of interacting with them and they get used to interacting with you, but you spend so much time interacting with that stupid dog, they don't know you as well as they want to. So they're more likely to keep things to themselves rather than talk to you about it. You see how people just up in their house destroying their family bonds? When you destroy the families, the community is gone. That's why you see the community had a hand in this woman's death. It's a sick world, man. The world is waking up to how sick dog culture is. It ain't going nowhere. Positive behavior. Child-led play has been shown to reduce tantrums and improve cooperation, boosted mental and academic. Are you kidding? This is exactly the same thing I was talking about. This has actually been common knowledge for a while. Social skills. Interacting with you teaches them how to share, take turns, and cooperate with others, right? Reduce social awkwardness. Social dysfunctions, having anxiety, interacting with people. Man, the real extent of damage that's done in homes like this, we can't even quantify right now. It's beyond our imagination. You'd have to have a team of experts to really figure this out. I wouldn't be surprised if we actually heard about studies in the near future where they actually did this type of research. Long-term health and habits, healthy choices, families that cook, eat, stay active together, build better diet and exercise habits. Okay, y'all always talking about walking dogs to get exercise. Stress management, healthy family relationships, about a built-in support system, setting a modeling behavior, my goodness. So, Lord, neglect, on top of the attacks, on top of the contamination of water, air, on top of the noise pollution, the stench, these things just need to go. They're better off gone. I will stand by that argument. I don't care. Any of you dog lovers can come from me. I don't think you have a logical argument against that. These things need to be removed from human territory all across the world in the interest of human evolution. And it makes sense, seeing that they are a population of mutants that shouldn't even be here, that nature itself would have wiped out had dog culture not been keeping them alive. Shout out to all of you able to join me for this live stream, and I hope you can join me on the next as we continue with this crusade.